Well, Barnaby Joyce is not the only potential move to Pauline Hanson's One Nation party. Wide Bay MP Llew O'Brien has indicated he could make the jump if leader David Littleproud refuses to ditch net zero. And Llew O'Brien joins me now. Welcome to the program. So let me just ask you straight out, will you quit the Nationals if they persist with supporting this net zero madness?
Well, James, my priority is to the people of Wide Bay and Australia, not to a political party. And the net zero policy and chasing net zero betrays so many of the fundamental principles for which I joined that party. So I find myself in a position where if it does commit to a net zero mandate by 2050, I've got to ask myself, is this the party that I joined? Now, David Littleproud has started a process that is bringing us to a position, I believe, that we're going to get out of net zero. And that's my hope. But if it doesn't, as I say, my loyalty is to the people of Wide Bay and Australia before all else. And this is the policy that, for me, is bad for the national interest. So I think that says it all. But I'm not in talks with any other political party. The only people I'm talking with are the people of Wide Bay. But they're telling me loud and clear that this has got to end. I'd never supported net zero by 2050. There'll be no clips of me talking about a wonderful transition or how great renewables are. I have never supported it. I've gone to every election saying it was economic madness and futile because it won't be achieved anyway.
Llew, I like how clear you are on this issue. In contrast to the coalition of which you're a part, can you understand why it's taken the coalition so long to come up with a policy?
Well, I think a position is where we've got to start. We don't have to have every answer to unscrambling this absolute mess that Labor have inflicted upon us, but a simple position that we do not stand for wrecking our economy in pursuit of net zero emissions by 2050 is a good starting point. And I think that's why Pauline has done so well. And you'll hear no criticism from me of One Nation. They have a position on this and we don't. Now, I really do hope with the greatest of sincerity that we get our act together, grow a spine and get the right position and look after Australians and tell them clearly that we're putting them first, their interests first, and not some ideological, meaningless pursuit that will put government in everyone's life. It'll regulate business like it's never been regulated before.
Yeah.
And it's irresponsible economically. Now, how anyone in the Liberal Party or the National Party could go along with this, and my view is that if they tell you that it can be done and it's not going to be the things that I just said, I don't think they're being truthful to you, because I think if you're genuinely pursuing this, you know that this is going to be massive government.
So, Llew, just on that, you said that net zero would be a betrayal of your principles. So what I hear you saying is there's no way you could stay part of a party that is betraying the very principles that you believe in. If they don't ditch net zero, you would have to ditch the Nationals. It would be that clear, wouldn't it?
Well,
there's no other way.
Yes. I'm going to call
with
it
that
spade
said,
a spade, yes.
So
my great hope is...
With that said, with that said, and the other thing you've said, of course, is that while the Nationals and the Liberals don't have a policy, One Nation very clearly does. So if the Nats refuse to ditch net zero, that would betray your principles. But there is a party that is very much aligned with your principles. So you would quit the Nationals. One Nation would be the logical place for you to end up, I guess.
Well, look, I am still absolutely, at this point in time, focused on landing the right position within the National Party. And I know Barnaby and David have bumped up against each other recently. And I will say David is, I believe, pushing us in the right direction here. And I hope we do land there, because as I say, I can't support a party that is going to betray every principle for which I joined it for, and I think, look, that's all I can really say.
Just really quickly, one more question for you, and I really appreciate you joining me tonight. I'm just curious, how many other national MPs would you say are in the same boat that you're in, where they're watching and weighing up their options?
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Barnaby's made the statements that he has, and Barnaby's a mate of mine, and I really, the Parliament needs Barnaby Joyce. There are not too many politicians who can get a message out there, and it's a message that I believe in.
Yeah.
So we need him in there. Look, the others can speak for themselves. I know there are a lot of members of Parliament who are very much against this, but are not saying that publicly against net zero by 2050, but are not saying it publicly through being disciplined and towing the line. But look, that's up to them. I'm being upfront with my constituents and the Australian people.
Llew O'Brien, I really appreciate your candour this evening. Thanks so much for coming on the program.